Hello, I am Richard. We're here to talk about miniature painting and drink beer. And I'm on my last beer, so we better make this short. Specifically, I want to talk about what I liked and the things I want to do better next time on the project from last week, which was our Stormcast Praetors. Or whatever, they're all just big dudes in heavy armor. Now, normally, I will put this section at the end of my painting videos, but as many of you know, a few weeks ago, I lost all of my painting footage when doing some Gene Stealer cults. And it turns out my audience retention for that video was way higher than normal. So apparently you guys really like just looking at my face while I talk about painting miniatures, so why not just make some of that its own video? So rather than putting this section at the end of the video, let's talk about two, or let's say this week, 3 things I like about the project and 1 thing that I want to do better next time. Okay, the first and foremost thing that I liked about this project, as well as the bane of my existence on it, was the contrast of the red and orange. Sorry, contrast of blue and orange. It's a classic technique that I use. It looks absolutely amazing. Also, speaking of classic techniques, I forgot to break out the Mug Club mug. It's been sitting in my cabinet for months, and I can't believe I haven't broken it out sooner. Thank you, Blind Pig Brewery here in Champaign, for just having awesome mugs that I could use. But back to what I was saying. I've never been very good with fabric, so I was really surprised that the blue cloaks even turned out as well as they did. All I did was take my time and just keep repeating to myself that, you know, I'm not very good at doing this, but that's kind of the point. The whole point is to confront the things that you're still working on, confront your weaknesses and try to work on those most efficiently. And then it turned out very well. All I had to do was just take my time, kind of just power through it and hope for the best. It's always important, even if you think it's going to turn out badly, to just give it that shot, because, if you're bad at something, but you give it a shot over and over and over again, eventually you're not bad at it. And that's how life works, ladies and gentlemen. I will still say, at this point, I think I've gone about as far as I can with just plain orange and blue contrast. It's a great combination, and I am definitely going to use it later, but it's a combination that I use a lot, and I don't know, I won't say it's getting stale, because you can't really get stale on a color combination that basic. There's always going to be new and interesting things you can do with it, more complex ways that you can integrate it into another painting scheme, but I am still very excited to try new things and to try figuring out what those integrations will be. What this orange and blue will look like, This is just the first time in a long time I've looked at a model and thought, oh yeah, that's a Rich Richardson model. And that's fine. I'm just excited to do something new. Man, this was supposed to be a part where I talked about things I liked. The orange and blue looks good. I'm also excited to try something new. So I guess that's all I can say for it. Ooh, that's good. Secondly, the blades. They turned out absolutely amazing. I've been trying to recreate the blades from my candy corn demons for a few months now, and I even tried doing a red version on the Cruel Boys from this exact box set, but this is the closest I've ever come to really capturing how good those models were. And I'm pretty sure it was the exact same colors too. It was azure, deep yellow, and white. Now, once again, I just hope I can do something more interesting with it later. But these turned out really well. And it kind of plays into what I like about the Stormcast lore, in that they're essentially demons of Sigmar. That's how I like to think of them. That's how I find them interesting. I also noticed in the painting process that these blades, more than a lot of other Warhammer stuff, don't feel handcrafted. They feel like they're just like a pattern or a template applied to a solid surface, which is fine, especially for my painting style. But if you're someone who wants, where every model feels that little bit more unique, this does take away from that. That might be fine for you. It was fine for me in my painting style. But something I definitely wanted to point out that you might not be into if you look at these, just something to be aware of, I guess. That deep yellow, especially on a lot of the pointed sections to ease into the white, provided a perfect gradient, and I really couldn't have asked for more than that. Yeah, it was just really good. And of course, Vallejo London Gray continues to be the best color I have for metal. Literally can't remember the last time I used metallics. That's fine, it's okay. All right, quick lightning round, and I'm gonna keep this short. The integration of gray and emerald into the cloaks worked really well. One of my biggest issues, or I guess fears walking into this project, was that the big areas, the big flat sections on those cloaks would end up looking very barren, and that just makes them end up looking like plastic and not like cloth. You need some kind of randomizing element to keep it from looking so flat. Continues to be the best word I can think of. Having those couple of extra colors to just break up that blue really worked well. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And secondly, I'm also happy how the cork brown turned out. Definitely definitely past 3 at this point. I specifically chose cork brown to be next to the orange because I wanted to have something that I could use to frame certain areas like the square armor panels and like on their halo, but wouldn't necessarily draw attention, if that makes sense. I do like the design of the Stormcast, and I like the design of the halo. It helps to provide a really, really interesting silhouette that's unique, even amongst other humanoid factions. But in this case, I wanted the eye not being drawn to the spikes at the ends of that. I wanted the eye being drawn to, you know, the face. So having this be bright orange and this just be a lighter brown helps a lot with drawing the eye of the viewer into the area that you want them to be focusing on, which is, you know, the humanoid face. I want the viewer's eye being drawn to the tips of the weapons because the weapons are, you know, weapons. The tips are supposed to be the pointy part where, you know, all the action happens. I swear to God, I'm trying to explain this. And now, the part I'm sure many of you have been waiting for. What do I want to do better next time? Probably haven't been waiting at all because I think I already pointed out the thing that I most want to change, which is to add in a more complex slew of colors. These were literally the first Stormcast models I have ever painted, so it's okay that they started out a little bit boring, just orange and blue. Maybe I'm just moving out of my personal blue period, so now I'm just looking to do something else. But I have plans to integrate red, black, and probably brass into the next one as an homage to Volkmar the Grim, who still has my favorite Immortal Empires campaign. I'm just excited to do some experimenting. I guess that's it. I'm excited to experiment by adding in more color so it's not just orange and blue. I want to try doing brass highlights over top of an orange and see how that mixes with the blue wash. I guess that's it. I'm not even chastising myself for doing something wrong. I'm just excited to do something newer and even more interesting, having already established the things we've done well. Kind of ideal, I guess. That's great. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's, like I said, I don't normally make an entire video of me just talking about models, but you guys seemed to like it last time, so I hope you do again. Oh, one sec. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.